Hey everyone, back again with a quick update. I promise this time I'm only going to go to the tanks that something has changed. I said that before, I'm pretty sure. There's not much for new stock in the fish room, but I did move around some fish, switch from tank to tank. The first one here, this bottom 55 gallon, that was the grow out or the second stage grow out for the Seleucii. The Seleucii fry. They would go from a 10 gallon then into this, but these guys that were in here, they got to a size that I thought was okay to bring over to the pond that you see in other videos with the rest of the Seleucii fry. So what I did, I took them out of there, and then I put the mascara barbs in here because I've had these guys for a while now and I haven't really did a proper attempt to breed them. So I think in a bare bottom I'm going to put in some spawning mops, or maybe like a tray or a tub with spawning mops in it, so I can just remove the tub and almost use it as a rearing tank or just a hatching out tank. So they've only been in there a few days, so I'm going to start feeding them heavy, and let's see if I can start spawning. Because I did notice every time I do a water change, and they were originally in the 75 gallon, as you'll see in the previous videos, that after water changes I did notice some spawning behavior, as you would with typical egg scatterers. So we'll see. So I wanted to get them in there and maybe do a proper go at them. Now in the 55 gallon above, as you see, you see the blind cave tetras that were once in the 75 gallon. So the Nanodoteus were in here, and what I've done, the group of Nanodoteus, I've now brought over to the 75 gallon, which I think they're doing better in here. The water, the food is all the same, but more decor and the substrate. I've had these guys spawn in a bare bottom tank, but only one pair, and that's, I do believe, is the pair that I separated that I mentioned in the last video. However, I thought maybe by putting them into a tank such as this with substrate, you know, if anything else, you'd get to see more of their spawning behavior by digging pits and whatnot. So I mean, the pairs are still holding, and you can see there's some little some disputes amongst males and between the pairs, as you can see here. You can see right there, male and female there. You can see the female with the dot on her dorsal there to the right. There's the male up front, there's the other male, and the darker one, that's the female right here. So that's two pairs there, so I'm a bit shaky here now. Hopefully I'll get a spawn out of here. But anyway, regardless, they seem to be doing better in a tank that, you know, it's not bare bottom and, you know, toddier looking, so to speak, or better looking, if anything. So the tank they were once in was this 55 gallon. So I got the blind cave tetras in here just to keep it cycled. And of course, as mentioned before, there's nothing usually goes into the fish room unless I intend to breed it most often, or just try to anyway. I wanted to take them there again, like I said, to keep that tank cycled because there would have been nothing in it. But also, they were originally in with the mascara barbs in the 75 gallon. But they were doing well, but I found during feeding times, naturally the mascara barbs, I mean, they're aggressive eaters and they're fast and they can see. They were getting the majority of the food over the blind cave tetras. Now, I haven't lost any blind cave tetras, like I said, and they're doing well, but I thought I should separate them so every bit of food I drop in there, they're going to be getting it. So I can start fattening them up and maybe get some females in the group, grave it, and then maybe spawn them. But that's where that's to. No new stock here. Here is where I separated the pair of Nanodoteus. You just see there as they take off underneath the log. Now, when I came back last week from a 3-week work rotation, I was actually going to put the blind cave tetras in here and just put this pair up in the 75 gallon because they weren't really showing any spawning behavior. They were eating, they were doing okay, but I found they were hiding a lot underneath that piece of wood that they just went under. So when I came back, I did a little, you know, look around inspection to see, and I didn't notice anything. The male was hiding over there underneath that log, and I couldn't see the female, but I was like, oh, perhaps they never spawned because it didn't seem as though there would be any fry or anything. So I started removing all the wooden pots, so I was going to catch them and put them in a 75 gallon. But then when I removed this pot here, the female was in it and she left, no problem. But as I was taking it out, the breeder in me, I always check for eggs and I always have a backup plan ready in case there is. And there was a small clutch of eggs in on the wall of that pot, probably only a couple of dozen. So I've done in the past, not with Nana Nateus, but other New World cichlids, you know, whether it be other convicts or Jack Dempsey's or green terrors. I found if I disturb them and I were to put that cave back with the eggs in it, I've found, and it's just in my experience, that the female doesn't take to them and they end up eating them and sort of starting from scratch. So, you know, seeing that these are a Kira species, I wanted to, you know, I'd rather the fry hatch out. So what I done with my quick backup plan, in case, I removed, well, the pot that was actually, this is a duplicate from that one there. But this is the pot that the eggs were actually in. So this is just a 2.5 gallon, and it's I got a bit of tannins in there to keep them from fungus. And I use sometimes I use Indian almond leaves, but right now I got some alder cones, as you can see right there. Now these eggs, they might not hatch, but I figured their odds would be better hair separated. And it was my mistake. Of course, if I had known that she had eggs and they'd spawned in that tank, I wouldn't have even disturbed them. So next time I'll learn from my mistake and just leave them be. So hopefully they'll spawn again, and hopefully these eggs, you know, it's only a couple of dozen. So, you know, if I get 2 or 3 that even hatch out of it, if they hatch at all, it'll be a miracle, so to speak. But anyway, they should, if they are, they should soon be hatching in the next few days. So then I'll take out the pot and have a look and see. And even right now, if I took that pot out or just spun it around so I could see the eggs in it, they might be all fungused or gone, right? Because I couldn't really get the ear stone. Oftentimes when I remove eggs like that, and I've done it in the past with like German blue rams and stuff, that the parents just kept eating the eggs. You know, it's ideal to get that air flow, or water flow rather, due to the ear stone, very near the eggs, you know, to keep clean water flushing over them, just to simulate the parents fanning them, or the female at least. But because they're in the pot, I couldn't really position the ear stone the way I want it, you know, to get the air flow or the water flowing over it. So hopefully we'll see what happens, and if they do hatch, I'll do another little quick video just to show that. The fry that were once in here, this 10 gallon, this is the Seleucia I fried, the smaller ones. I decided to skip a step, so instead of going from that 10 to the 55, like the second stage growth, if you would, I put them, and they were probably around ½ inch, a little bigger. I put them right into the pond with the rest of the fry, and no problems. And because even the oldest fry that are in there, I mean, they're juvenile now. They're probably, you know, they're not even 2 inches yet even, so there shouldn't be any, you know, any conflicts there. So they're all doing well. Nothing new in here, still the clown plecos. Hoping to breed them sometime. So I've just been feeding them lots of cucumber, shrimp, bloodworms. There is one in this small cave. You see them scoot in, but I mean, there's a couple of females in there, and there's no trouble to tell they're females. They're quite round. So whether they're, you know, they could be ready to spawn. I've certainly been trying to condition them. I got a lot of current. I got that internal filter here just to keep that cycled. In the meantime, it helps put a good circulation in the tank. So, you know, who knows? Maybe this one right here has got eggs. I have my doubts, but I'll check into it later. I don't like trying to disturb them too much with the flashlight because they're not really fussy on that. Down here in the Tetia Prugai or oilwood catfish tank, the only thing different here is a few days ago I noticed that there was an abundance of eggs, and what I've been finding here for breeding these, that most times the female, like, she will drop her eggs, lay her eggs in these caves. However, most times just with her tail movement she kicks them out. So I'll find them on the ground, you know, here. Well, not actually, that might be, no, that's a bit of sand. But actually there's some right there, and I won't bother to get them, but don't know if the camera's going to pick them up. Those 4 or 5 little, and these eggs are different. They're surrounded by jelly. They're not your typical egg that you might be used to seeing. But anyhow, so I suck them up with a turkey baster. So this time, instead of using the hang-on breeder box, I mentioned in videos before, maybe I'll keep them in a tray in the tank so the flow is good. So I got a little tray here, clear plastic tray. Put this mesh that I use for egg scatters on top. That coconut shell is just there to weight it down. And I got the air stone in it, just to drag any water down through, up through. And the power head current here is coming across in here. So there's probably a couple of dozen eggs in here. Now they might fungus, I don't know. You can see them right there. It'll focus, I gotta zoom in a lot, but you can see them right there. So we'll see how they do. They might do better in there, because what I've done in the past, I've taken the eggs out and either put them in a 2.5 gallon or put them on a hang-on back or whatnot breeder box, and I find I've had a couple of hatches, but I find the eggs fungus. Now maybe they're not even fertilized, you know, because the females, there's internal fertilization with these catfish, so perhaps she's just dropping her eggs because she needs to and she's not pregnant, so to speak, or the eggs haven't been fertilized. But we'll see. And the biggest news, this is the reason for the update, some little moves, but finally, as promised, I could cue, if I had the technology here on the video, I'd cue the drum roll. But after 8 years, finally, I've got the Cetopsis cuticutians, blue whale catfish, blue shark catfish. Yeah, and it's been a long wait, 8 years trying to track them down. Came close a couple of times, but the trick is these aren't very rare. Like, they're not rare in the wild, but they don't ship very well. So I think it was probably in November. The place I was buying them off of said that the fishermen had caught them and they were being, you know, housed there. So between it all, from November, I got these in the middle of January. So from November to January, they were, you know, in wholesalers' tanks or whatnot down in Peru. Of course, these are wild caught because they haven't been bred in captivity yet. But of course, like I said, if anything is in the fish room, I'd like to try to spawn it. Now, it's certainly a fair shot to try to spawn these. I don't know. I've never read any literature on what they do or, you know, their husbandry. I suspect they might be, seeing that they're always moving, I suspect they might be an egg scatter, but who knows. Now, they aren't hard to sex, and a quick Google would determine that, but the males will have the extensions on their dorsal fin. Now, it's not going to be easy trying to get that. You can see one here. You can see the little point on its dorsal fin, and that's how you determine if they're male or female. But these guys, I've had them, let me think, a week, or a little over a week, probably 10 days, and they're doing great. Order 12, got 12, still have 12. They love the current, and on any profile you'll see that they like a good bit of circulation. So there's your impeller, and they hang out. This is what they hang out to all day. And when I feed them, of course, then they go crazy like most catfish. But they feed with the lights on. They're active with the lights on and with them off. So they're a great catfish. You know, they're always on the move. Now these are going to get, you know, they can get upwards of 12 inches. Now whether they're going to get that into the aquarium or not. But the plan is, this is 135 gallon, as you may know from other videos. But I'm going to grow them out here, and then eventually they'll end up going into the pond that we've seen before. But I don't know what their growth rate is like, but I certainly know they're not afraid to eat. And I've had to be careful about trying to, you know, them gorging themselves. So I've been feeding them throughout the day, so to speak, instead of just one bunch of chunks of shrimp or whatnot, just firing it into the tank, right? But yeah, they're doing great. I might do as I promised, I guess, but I want to do separate videos, and not on every fish species in the fish room, but maybe all of them, who knows. But individual videos, just my experience. I like to say in real life, you know, because of course not what Google and different profiles. Certainly they're accurate, and I research all my fish, and whatever I read, you know, I know people say we can't believe it all, but I take note of everything. But I'd like to just share my experience, because I feel like I should, in a way, give back, I guess, to the community, because I'm always YouTubing videos of, well, these guys for the last 8 years, trying to get a bit of an idea of how people keep them, and as I say, in real life, what do they feed them, you know, what they find that works, and same with breeding. So maybe later throughout the week I'll just do individual tanks, do a quick little talk on what I feed them, what the water is, have I spawned them, if I have, what not, right? Just so if people are looking for a certain species, you know, you can find this video on, if you were to search fish room tour or whatnot. But a lot of times I might hop on YouTube and search blue whale catfish. So you know, unless I make a tag for in the header with this, you're not going to see them, right? So that's them, and I'm happy to have them after the long saga waiting. But they're doing great. Feeding them bloodworms, worms, shrimp, like cocktail shrimp, mysis shrimp, plankton. They'll eat it all. I haven't really tried them on sinking pellets. I might try that later today and just see how they do. But that's it new for the fish room. Little quick spin over to the pond. Everything's the same here except just for more. There they come. More Pseudotropheus lucii fry. You can see some males there. The blue. So there's about 4 generations in there now, and you can see you can see more of a size difference, because the first 2 generations that are in there, they're pretty much the same size when I introduced them, but you can see way down there, you can see some of the smaller ones darting around, right? But no issues, put them in, they've been all coming up to feed. So this is still the Seleucii fry grow out, and then I guess once I deem them, I suppose I could really start giving them away or selling them or trading them in now at the size they're in now. But I have a job letting go fish I breed for some reason. I'm not into selling them, not that I'm looking for profit, but you know, you breed them, grow them out, and then you're just holding them on until, you know, finally, I guess I can tell you now, I'd say when I'm going to get trade these in or whatnot, I don't like to say get rid of, because I enjoy them, is when those Cetopsis catfish, you know, get too big for the 135, then they'll probably go in here. Anyway, we'll see. Hopefully maybe I'll do some more updates, maybe on the eggs, on the Nanonotaeus eggs, and perhaps the Prugai eggs, and see if the parents Nanonotaeus, if they spawn, any spawnings here. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully later the week or the month, or who knows, maybe I'll have some individualized profile videos. I might just do 1 or 2 and just see how everyone likes them, and we'll go from there. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.